this wasn't necessarily a very pleasant experience. In fact, I had to come to terms. There were certain things that were my anchor, that were a guiding myth, as it were. I had mentioned in a note or a comment on another one of Heidegger's, another one of John David Ebert's expositions on Heidegger, that myth could be interchangeable with being, as far as what I had come across in Joseph Campbell. And I had asked him, you know, is that so? And he agreed, yes, in a way it could be seen that way. And then he mentions that, he reiterates that again in the Intro to Metaphysics clips. So my life had a few anchors in my youth. However, I was still experiencing the times I live in, and technology has such rapidity, is so rapid in its changing forms. It's still technology, so at its root, its essence, it still is a technic. However, it changes so quickly, I have to reach deeper to find out what is it reaching at and where is it reaching from. And that helps me to reach deep into my own intuition, or unconscious, or whatever you want to call it, my own creative imagination, and create an identity for these techniques. And then when I do that, I evaluate it. And does it have value for me? Does it not have value for me? And that's a whole nother level. But what I wanted to get at was that there were junctures in my life where the anchors that held me to a certain path changed, because they left and they were gone. They were just gone. So I think of how I've noticed some people from the older generations have never sat before a computer, so they look at a computer and it has no value for them. Since it has no value for them, it has no identity. They don't know how to use it. They don't know what it's for. They don't know where it's reaching towards, or where it's reaching from. Where did it come from and where is it going? What's its purpose? Well, for me, in a lot of ways, woman was that anchor. And having a significant relationship with a female in my life was my anchor, that or even my rudder that directed the ship that I am on this vast ocean of life. So when I had realizations as to what woman was to me, and how I was not finding that on the outside, it really meant something to me in my studies when I discovered that, like Carl Jung mentions, the anima, which is not necessarily the true woman, but the image we have of woman for a man. And all these things came very clear for me to realize that, you know, I had an image in my mind that I wanted her, that I somehow identified the actual woman in my life with, but she was much more than that. She was very much a real person. And so I came in contact with that real person, and that real person in multiple and various forms left. She simply left. She became intolerant and in relationship with me, so I have to take my ownership there. So in her leaving, in her great leave-taking, I was left on my own and without any real rooted, anchoring value system to communicate with. And I had to start discovering my own. I had to start going out and living my own life and finding my own values instead of being guided by the values of another.